Welcome to the Fourth Line Hockey Show. I'm your host, Willie Plouffe. You know, we're here again at Royal Sports Shop having a great time. I'm with my winger, Gerald Hasby. Gerald, how are you today, big fella?
I'm pretty good, Willie. Look at us. We're making our prediction right here for the Stanley Cup.
I know you're going for the Pens, of course, but you know what? Homegrown, Jonathan Toews bringing on the Hawks.
Yeah, well, I'm going with my head, not with my heart.
You know what? Sometimes it happens to me. That's why I fell in love with my wife, the heart. She took control of it. You know, Jill, we have a great show tonight. We have David Cameron come from the Rink. You know, Dave's got a wealth of experience, at the training facility. He brings a lot to the game on training young players, junior players, pro guys. He's done a lot. You know what? It's going to be a great show today.
Yeah, snow's melting, everyone's done their winter hockey. Obviously, we've talked before about the spring hockey and, all the escapades of that.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people got the summer coming up. They're deciding on where their kids are going to go train, maybe themselves they want to train or learn a little bit more about hockey. So it'll be a great show for them to learn about that sort of stuff.
Not promoting the Edge of Excellence, but Dave did a lot of training with David Roy, so he's been, and Edge takes a lot of credit for a lot of skating Manitoba guys because they come here. But now, the Rink's taking over. We've had a lot of different trainers come in, guys talking about different programs, and I'm excited about hear what David says about, training in the summertime, off-ice training, on-ice training, getting that stride down, what to do as a player.
Yeah, hockey's so year-round now, and training, different body parts for different, aspects of the game. But, I guess skating's the biggest thing, and, that's really what you got to work on.
I also do not, talk about Gerald, off air. You said you got a haircut. Your haircut looks pretty good. You styled it up for today's show.
Yeah, my forehead's growing like yours, Willie.
You know what? One thing about our guests, I think him and I have the same barber, so it's going to be pretty good when we're getting live on air and coming back there.
I thought indoor tanning was safe.
They said their tanning rays were less likely to cause a sunburn.
What you need to know is UV light from indoor tanning
can cause premature aging.
And even worse, UV light can increase your risk of skin cancer.
Including melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer.
In fact, current estimates are that 1 in 7 Canadians will develop skin cancer.
And 1 person dies from skin cancer about every 7 hours.
I don't want to be one of them.
This message brought to you by the Canadian Dermatology Association.
Work shouldn't hurt, but nearly 100 Manitobans are reported hurt at work each day, and back injuries are among the most painful and most common. Nearly 1/3 of all soft tissue injuries are back-related. Most of these injuries are preventable if we spot the hazard, assess the risk, find a safer way every day. Order Back to Basics to learn about safer work practices by calling or logging on to safemanitoba.com.
Back at Royal Sports Shop here, Fourth Line Hockey Show. You know what? We broke off. We talked a little bit about David Cameron coming on the air, coming with us guys hanging out. Let's bring the big fella in. Welcome to the Fourth Line Hockey Show, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Dave, always, every guest we have on, it's been tradition. We always say to our guests, tell us a little about Dave Cameron. Who is Dave Cameron?
Well, I grew up in Winnipeg and really happy to be back here and was gone for a long time playing hockey and through the Western League and then playing a little bit of professional hockey, and then came back here and got my degree from the University of Manitoba and played with the Bisons for that time and then took over some coaching jobs. So I've been coaching for professionally now for 8 years and have done it for my living, which has been great, and got the opportunity to come back to the rink and run my own programs, and it's been exciting ever since. So it's been a growing process and a learning process, but we're pretty happy where we're at right now and looking forward to keep helping kids in Winnipeg keep getting better. So.
That is awesome. Now, Dave, where did you play at AAA in Winnipeg?
I played with the Monarchs, played Bantam here, and then didn't end up playing midget hockey and went straight to the Western League when I was 16. So that was a big step and kind of give that information to young kids as they're coming up now and through some experiences of my own and help them kind of make their own paths.
Now, at the rink facility right now, Dave, what's your pure title there?
Head coach and program director. So I look after all the hockey products that go on the ice. So all the kids who come through, right from the little guys to the pro guys, making sure that they're taken care of with the hockey.
Gerald, that's a pretty big workload, buddy.
It is. So why don't you tell us about the rink? I'm sure a lot of our viewers don't really know what the rink is, and we're not just talking about any rink, we're talking about the rink.
Right, and that's a good question. We've had that question come up a lot, what do you guys do there? And really we work with players to help them get better, and it's through power skating programs, through individual skill programs, all the way from learn to skate programs with young skaters to very specialized individual instruction with players to help them kind of work on the things that they need to do, work on the areas that they need to work on, We always say that we're not just coaching practices. We're not teaching kids how to win. We're teaching kids how to get better, how to identify the areas of their weaknesses, and then work on them to make sure that those aren't weaknesses anymore, and they can keep getting better all the time.
I know what the rink is, Dave, because our kid's been through it. And now, describe it like it's not a full sheet of ice, right? It's a smaller size rink.
Right. Yeah. It's a smaller size rink that we use for training, and that's what we look after is identifying what kids need to do to get better, helping them address those issues. And whenever I go out and work with a full team and they ask us to work on shooting or skating, for example, we can work in really kind of 20% of a real ice sheet as far as working on the specifics of the skills. So this allows us to really identify the areas, work on them, give the kids more reps. There's not a lot of wasted space. Everybody's involved in the sessions, everybody's moving, and it lets the kids enjoy it a little more as opposed to just standing around and practice.
And I know through experience, Joe, that a lot of hockey schools and different training facilities, sometimes they're overloaded with kids. And at the rink, I know they have a ratio, I think it's 10 to 12 kids. Dave, is that true?
We make sure that it's a 6-to-1 ratio of players to coaches, and it doesn't go beyond that. If it does go beyond that, we'll put another coach on the ice. But we want to make sure that, again, kids get looked after, they get the instruction they need, they get the feedback they need. Really, that's the way they get better. If they're going through a session and they're blending in with the crowd and not getting identified, it doesn't help them improve. And that's what I believe in, and that's what our coaches believe in, is to make sure that kids are getting better every time they're there.
So, is it for the little gaffers, or we talked off screen about some of your new programs? Tell us a little bit about what sort of player goes there.
Yeah, we've actually had really every range of player, all the way from beginners, adults coming into play, learn to skate better, learn to handle the puck better, all the way to junior guys and pro guys coming through now. And we had some drafted players last year. We'll have another couple drafted this year in the NHL draft, which is very exciting to see them around the building. We've got a lot of female players from the city of Winnipeg who are at the prep schools and the AAA level who've either gotten scholarships or will be getting scholarships the next couple of years. So it's really kind of wherever you fit in on the spectrum of the hockey player, we've got something for you.
So it's an on and off ice component as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I look after the on ice portion of what goes on, and we've branched that out with John Cara, who works with us as well, to do the satellite program, which is outside of the building now. But inside the facility, we've also got the gym upstairs run by Jeff Fisher and Elite Performance, which takes care of all the players' off-ice needs as far as physical training. And every player who's there gets their own program, and it's really, it's something else as far as what kids are getting nowadays as compared to what I used to get when we were playing. So it's a big step in the right direction.
Boy, it sure has changed, Dave, from just going shooting pucks in the back or playing a little bit of ball hockey. There's a lot of training going on, a lot of positive things. And Dave, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the programs, like the shooting program that you have going on. What's going on in that one?
Yeah, so that during the springtime now, what we do is we identify the skills that need to be worked on. So Mondays is shooting, Tuesdays is power skating, and Thursdays is a puck skills program where for the 50-minute session we'll put a puck in the kids' hands and let them work and really get more confidence with the puck. Same thing with the shooting program. I don't know that there's another program in Winnipeg that does that, where they just go to shoot pucks. We don't waste any time on the ice. It's all shooting topics. That Monday night they're coming to shoot pucks, and it's wrist shot, it's backhands, it's snap shots, it's slap shots. It gets into one-timers. It gets into all the different areas of shooting that a player can use in a game. And we try to build players' confidence in all of them and make sure that they've got all the tools for when they get a chance to shoot a puck in a game, they know what to do with it.
I know I'm smiling here because I know my little guy Taggart was shooting pucks, and I think he shot 75 his first skate, and his hands were like, oh, my hands, Dad. It was pretty good. And what about, Dave, the power skating program?
The power skating is one of our most popular programs as far as having the biggest number of players, just because it is really the most important area of the game today, and the way the NHL has changed to more of a speed game, and really helps players get better. As their skating gets better and more technical and that kind of stuff, it lets them kind of take their game to another level. So we really break down skating for them. We go through it with them, make sure they identify all the areas that get put together, and it just is a really big difference for them. When they come out of the program, they can become more balanced, they become more powerful. Ultimately, they go faster, which is fun for them, and really you can see it in their game.
Now, Dave, before we go off air here a little bit and do our Two Amigos move of the day, I want to talk to you a little bit about, what is it when talk about recoil, when the players recoil, bringing their legs back to the middle? What is that?
We talk about stride recovery, making sure that each stride finishes in the right spot, and I talk a lot about stride length, depending on two things, and one is how far you can push. The second one is how far you can recover. If you're only recovering halfway, really that stride length gets affected by that. So the next stride then is going to be a little shorter. And that's something we work a lot on, and it helps with balance, it helps with power, it helps with efficiency. So there's a lot of little technical aspects that we work on with players to make sure that they've got all of those components to their skating.
That was huge, Gerald.
Do you think, Dave, you can help Willie out with his skating? It's a bit choppy.
Yeah, you know what? I have problems with my cross cuts. There's an issue. We're going to break off right now for Two Amigos move of the day. And the move of the day is, I love it. Cut to the outside, then to the middle, wrist shot down between the 5-0 in the net. We're going to break off, be back, right back with David Cameron.
Planting trees in our communities is well worth the effort. But if you don't look after them, they may not make it. Urban trees need a little maintenance to survive. Not much. But your extra care will help replenish the urban forest and give us something we all need. Fresh air. Trees do their part. Let's do ours.
What are you in for?
I just twisted my knee at work. No big deal.
Who's next?
Over 60% of workplace injuries are sprains, strains, and tears, and they're 100% preventable. View and download prevention materials at safemanitoba.com.
Before we went off air, we talked with David Cameron from the Rink a lot about the programs they have, and what, man, what a great spot to be at as a kid playing AAA, AA, grassroots, junior, just working out and shooting pucks and getting in shape. Beaks, you can't beat it.
Yeah, it's a cool little place. It's not little, I should say. It's a big place, but it's got a slightly smaller rink, and I find the kids there a lot more atmosphere there, a lot tighter. I think they feel a little bit more part of the action. Sometimes you get lost on the big rink. So, and where are you guys located again?
We're at 91 Lowson Crescent. Best way to find us is right near the new IKEA. Right across Route 90 there, and can't miss us coming around the corner. So it's a good spot.
Dave, you know what? I have to say that's pretty good of you to say IKEA, because I recognize it by the new A&W that's up there.
Coach is known for the meatballs. IKEA.
IKEA. Dave, let's talk a little bit. You've been pretty modest here, but you played some pretty sweet hockey, and you got to go to Prospects game, didn't you?
Yeah, I was part of the 1990 NHL draft, and before the draft, they have the Prospects game for the top 40 ranked players in North America. And it was an exciting time. At the time, I was ranked 35th, and got the invitation to go, and it was a great year with Vincent LeCavalier and a lot of great high-end guys. And Don Cherry was one of the coaches, and Bobby Orr was the other coach. And I'll never forget with Bobby Orr is one of the stories. He signed a stick for us and that kind of stuff. And I wanted to get an autograph from my dad. He was a big fan of Bobby Orr's, and all I had was a business card from my dad. And my dad was a homicide detective in Winnipeg, and I gave him a business card and to sign, thinking he'd sign the back, and he just took the business card and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And I kind of never thought about it again with the course of the weekend playing out. And about 3 weeks later, my dad got a package at work, and it was a big tube, and he opened it up, and it was an autographed picture from Bobby Orr. And I'll never forget that, just a guy of that magnitude took a little bit of time out of his own day to make something special for me and for my dad. And it's kind of one of those things that I never forget about, so it was something special.
We've heard stories about Bobby Orr. He's a classic guy. Like, that is a stud. You can't say too many things about that guy.
Well, obviously one of the best ever, and just a great guy all around.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about hockey players. That's a common theme that we get. So, maybe tell us a little bit. You played professional hockey. You train these elite and pro guys. What do pro guys train? Like, what do they do?
Yeah, it's one of the questions I get a lot from parents, is to say, what is our program different from the pro guys? And to be honest, it's not that different. The pro guys want to identify the little aspects of their game that they want to improve on. That might mean their acceleration in their first 3-4 steps. It might mean, finishing pucks on their backhand. It might mean, working on their one-timers. Not that different from what a AAA guy might be working on. It just, they're working on a different level. And those are the things that we try to identify with them and work on little things. Centermen a lot of times come in and say, we want to work on face-offs. Defensemen, it might be, getting a shot through traffic at the point. Those little areas are really what get identified, especially for the pro guys. But that's the stuff that they want to see get better and translates to the game very easily for them.
And then also, Dave, you're talking off air. During the daytime, you have a female program going?
Yeah, we've got lots of programs during the day. It's We call it our Athena program, and it's for women who wanted to play and learn to skate and learn to play the game, and it's been great. We've got 24 women now who play during the day and come out, and they're always asking now when they can scrimmage and when they can start to take on some teams, and I always say if they want to enter a tournament, we're ready to go. So
that's awesome. And,
maybe the fourth liners, we should get a team. Maybe we can verse them.
I tell you, they probably hammer us. Like, honestly, the way we've been playing lately, Beeks, I tell you.
Yeah, that could be scary.
I think we should go back to the wrestling moves that we had tag team from last week. Dave, a little bit also about talking about this is, and GDI, right? GDI is part, if you're a tender, GDI is part of the Rink facility also, right?
Yeah, so Ryan Sear and Dan Ferguson take care of the goalies. They get mad at me when I teach the guys how to score on them, and they're trying to teach them how to stop pucks. But we have a lot of fun. We've got, it's a great hockey atmosphere, and like I said, goalies, players, whatever kind of player you are, we've got something for you. So.
And also at the Rink facility, you can have birthday parties there, right?
We do a little bit of birthday parties, not as much as we used to. When the guys upstairs moved in, they took over the lounge area, which had a lot of tables and couches and that kind of stuff. But it's now a yoga studio, which is fun as well.
I see Gerald there sometimes.
It's so we sometimes have some birthday parties and an ice rental and some birthday parties. We've gotten away from that a little bit, but it is definitely we can accommodate whatever we've got going on.
Now, Dave, what does Dave Cameron do on his days off? I know you have a new little one at home that probably keeps it pretty busy. But what else do you like to do, Dave?
It's really family time when I'm at home. I spend a lot of time at the rink. I'm on the ice a lot during the week, so when I'm at home, it's pretty relaxing. Try to spend as much time with my family. If I can, play golf, hang out with some friends. I did grow up in Winnipeg, so I've got a lot of close friends that are still here in Winnipeg. So, but again, a lot of family time and just relaxing. So.
One of our normal questions we ask, favorite player growing up, who was it?
Favorite player growing up, I think I'd have to say Pavel Bure. I love the way he was so offensive and so explosive and could change a game very quickly. That was the kind of stuff, that I remember anyway.
Beeks, like, talking a little bit about all the things going on at the rink, and also they have a great program for even like they have hockey at nighttime for older guys like us.
True. Yeah, they have the 3-on-3. I've known some guys who've played in their tournaments and stuff like that. So, even a couple old farts like us can get going out there.
I tell you, I think we should take Dave on, and maybe he can call up Mike Keane a little bit. We could take him down there. That ain't going to happen, of course. Now, Dave, also, like for the guys that are off ice, what do you tell young bucks now what to do when they're off ice training a little bit?
The young guys are looked after by Jeff Fisher, and he takes care of all their training. And I know the younger guys really get into the introduction of training as opposed to the heavy weights, but learning how to do things properly, learning how to do a lot of body weight exercises, learning how to stretch properly. All of those aspects become really important as they start to get into the training. So he really introduces them to more of the routine of getting in a gym. And then as they get older and they develop that routine, it makes it a lot easier to start actually training, which is awesome for them as they get into their careers.
Dave, most important thing, and a lot of hockey players go through, and they can have nice hands, but would you say one of the most important part of the game is being able to skate? You have to be able to skate.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when teams are being evaluated and scouts are looking at players and all kinds of things. Really, the first thing that gets evaluated is skating, and it's really easy to identify based on the pace of play if they can keep up or not, or if they're above the pace, and that's what a lot of people look for right off the bat. And we talk to a lot of young players about that and making sure that they're in the right spot with their skating when they go through an evaluation process.
Now, Dave, if you're bailing down on the goaltender on the tender, what was Cameron's favorite move?
It was probably just a shot over the glove, a simple fake, and then let it go. And the guys still laugh at the rink when I can beat a young goalie, which hopefully I can do still once in a while. But the goalies are getting pretty good too, so it's.
Well, Gerald, I know. What was your favorite move?
Passing it to you.
And I would miss it. Definitely would miss it. We're going to break off right now, but before we go, once again, we have the Ice Traders Core of the Day. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Gerald Hasbeek.
We just looked this one up. It's pretty simple, but Paul Coffey said it. When we have the puck, they can't score.
So true.
You don't need a media monkey to make healthy choices. Think for yourself. A message from Concerned Children's Advertisers.
Work shouldn't hurt, but nearly 100 Manitobans are reported hurt at work each day, and back injuries are among the most painful and most common. Nearly 1/3 of all soft tissue injuries are back-related. Most of these injuries are preventable if we spot the hazard, assess the risk, Find a safer way every day. Order Back to Basics to learn about safer work practices by calling or logging on to safemanitoba.com.
Back at Real Sports Shop here with David Cameron and my co-host, my winger, Gerald Hasbeek. You know, we've always talked the hot topic of spring hockey and what players do on the off season. I think we got to hammer David on this one.
I think so. Everyone's got a different perspective on it, and it's good to hear for sure. All those parents out there.
First of all, Dave, what did you do on the off season? Because hockey's changed, right, from when we played.
Yeah, hockey's a lot different now. You know, I like to play, but I was also playing other sports and doing some other things, and I always, you know, found time to shoot pucks and go for a skate and that kind of stuff. But I had a couple teams coming up and that kind of thing, and then just stopped and really focused on some development. And so it really is. Everyone's a little different, I think.
So spring hockey-wise, Dave, what do you think about spring hockey? Like, every player is different. Long as a lot of kids you hear, they're getting tired.
Right, and that's the big thing, right? Is every player is different, and I think that the development process for every player is different. I talk with a lot of families about the same question, and what I tell them is, look at your situation, and that's it, right? Look, if it's going to be beneficial for your son to play with, better quality players consistently and get a good amount of games, then that's great. If it's just for the sake of playing another 50 games in 8 weeks, then maybe it's not the best plan. But as long as there's a plan for development, and I tell parents that's the best question to ask if you're talking to organizations is how's my son or daughter going to get better? If they have an answer, that's great. If they don't have an answer, then maybe second guess it and look for another option.
I know one of the big things about the Canadian system was there were so many games, right? And then, all the Europeans, they spent more time practicing. And, spring hockey, from what I understand, is more about the games than the practices. So, as someone who focuses on training, do you see more benefit with, working on your skill and touching the puck rather than a game situation where you might not touch a puck that much?
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's what we believe in is the development process. And I really think that players should get better from the end of the season to the start of next year, whether at any age, right? And making sure that they work on the things that they need to work on. And Hockey Canada did a survey that says the average 9-year-old touches the puck for 8 seconds in a game. Touching a puck for 8 seconds isn't going to help you get better. We try to design practices where they have it for 30 or 40 minutes of a 50-minute session and let them really handle the puck and get better at it.
Well, that's a pretty big stat. And hockey, my kids that play spring hockey, like tomorrow we're heading down south, and it is, a lot of the games, right? And the kids go there, go for swimming, the shopping, and I don't know if we get more out of spring hockey as developing as a player or more just to have fun and, spend cash and have fun.
Well, at the end of the day, I guess we're all playing hockey, even beer leaguers like us, fourth liners, to have fun. And, how many lucky people actually get to make a living out of it? Dave's lucky. He was at the show level. He played with the big guys. For realistically, that's not going to happen. So, I think having fun's the best idea. You got to evaluate it though, as a parent, and you got to know what your kid wants. And, I'm of the feeling, if you want to be hockey 12 months a year, I like the idea of working on your skill level. At the end of the day, you're probably going to be a better player in September working on your skill, skating, whether it's skating, shooting. I like that idea of the shooting school, rather than playing all these games. Just a personal opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think it's every player, like I said, is different and needs to work on something different. What we try to do is have options for everybody, right? And we tell parents, we don't want to see you through all 3 programs. We want to see you once a week. Let your kids be kids, have some fun. Maybe twice a week, get on the ice and do some work. And if it's on top of their spring hockey, like you said, as long as they're having fun and enjoying it, then that's great.
Yeah, and my thought is also if the kids, if they like going to the rink and they still want to go rink, bonus. But if you have to ask them and push them to go to the rink, I think it's time to step back. And I do also believe in more practice. Practice with a purpose and get at it. And the games are the fun things that get going. But like you said, that quote from that stat from Hockey Canada, that's huge.
Yeah.
In a game you don't touch the puck that much. in practice, you play the puck all the time.
Well, for you, Willie, it was lucky maybe 1-2 seconds.
That's right.
But, you know, like lacrosse, you hear about all the guys who played lacrosse and, you know, the hand-eye and soccer with the spacing and, you know, managing open spots. And so I think there is something beneficial to be gained by playing other sports and just the whole camaraderie and friendship and, you know, developing as a person too.
I think it's huge. And, you know, if you want to keep going to the rink, to the training facility, and also before we break off here and thank our guests for coming, Dave, you guys have a website. Where can we get hold of you on the website?
Yeah, the website's real simple. It's just therink.ca. You know, it updates all of our programs. It updates our weekend clinics. It updates everything that we've got going on, as well as GDI. And you know, any program information that's needed, it's on there. If there's ever any questions, you can give us a call at the rink. That's awesome. And you know, also want to ask this, Dave, on there. If you know, some families sometimes, you know, they can't afford to pay for it, they can you do time payments? Is there a program for time payments? Absolutely. Everything's set up that way. You know, we want to accommodate everybody, so we'll set up whatever works. Awesome. David Cameron from the Rink, thank you for coming on the Fourth Line Hockey Show. It's been great. Thank you, guys.
Life is all about chances. Made, given, and taken. Chances missed. And chances that change everything. Chances to try, to fail, and then try again. Chances to grow. Chances to change. Chances to learn, teach, lead. Chances. It's all about what you do with them. Boys and Girls Clubs of Winnipeg. Donate. Check us out. Make the call.
You know, what a great show we had, Jill. We had Dave in from the Rink, and, you know, what a great program they have going down there.
Yeah, it's a cool place, you know, and I think if, you know, the best idea is go pop in, see it. You know, it is a very neat little introspective way to deal with hockey, you know, rather than every Saturday morning or whatever it is you do. It's a neat way to deal with it for sure.
You know, we've had guys in from the Iceplex. We've had now Dave in from the Rink. We've had different trainers in, and you know, the best thing is, and I feel strong on this, is that get involved, be part of something. If you want to be a better athlete or a better person, get involved and train with. You know, maybe we should get training, but get involved with a young athlete. And you want to get a better athlete. You want to make the AAA level. You want to go to the Dub. You have to get involved in some of those programs.
Or if you want to just have fun.
Yeah,
right? Like
so
it's fun to excel at things. Yeah. Even just to improve, right? Whether you're an A1 player, an A2, a AA, AAA, you know, you want to graduate to the next level, or you just want to be at the top of your level. You know, at the end of the day, we're all probably going to end up beer leaguers, fourth liners like us, and having fun is the main thing. And I always have fun when you excel at something. That is huge. And before we went off a break there, I said the big inclusion, and the big inclusion is the Fourth Line Hockey Show is going to the MasterCard Memorial Cup in Saskatoon, and we're featuring all the Manitoba players. The Blades have about 4 guys on that squad from Manitoba. It's going to be great. Well, it'll be a real interesting perspective of a big tournament. Kids who are, you know, they're not kids, they're adults already. They're going to be going on upward and onward. You know, there'll be some NHLers there, and, you know, we'll get a real good in-depth look at their lives, what it's like to be at that level. You know, and one of our guests, like Nicky Zajac, he's playing with the Blades. And we're going to focus on, you know, the parents from the Manitoba kids coming on our show next week, the week after. Some of the players that played in the Memorial Cup, also showing some big rings going on. It's going to be great, Gerald. Yeah, you know, we're going to just live vicariously through all these kids and their parents and just feel that, right? The energy is going to be flowing, so make sure you tune in for a Fourth Line Hockey Show as the road to the Master Memorial Cup. I stole that. It's going to be on. It's going to be great. You know, Fourth Line Hockey Show going to Saskatoon. Do I get to go? Is that, it's still in negotiation. I think your brother Greg's going to take your spot. That's going to be. We're bringing in the big guns. The big guns. The big gun is coming in. Tune in next week. We'll see you guys.
The opinions expressed on the program you have just watched are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of this station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.